Last week, we did a brief discussion on false gods, demons, Satan, Hasatan, and spiritual doors and more. Yehovah gave his people warning about straying away from these things of false gods because you will be giving yourself over to Satan and his demons. Well, Yehovah have more to say about those who are not following his instructions. I encourage you to not to depart from the Torah. The instructions has been given to us to live in his kingdom. So hear and obey and accept his son as the door. Welcome to Reconcile, the kingdom working towards becoming a harmony of the whole word of truth. My name is Patrice Robinson. As always, I appreciate you stopping by and supporting me on today. We're going through the significant events of chapters 13 through 15 of the book of Deuteronomy. Chapter 13. People, we need to be able to apply everything that's in chapter 13 in our lives right now. Actually, chapter 13 needs its own video. When a person calls himself a prophet and a dreamer and show evidence, but takes you from the commandment, they are false teachers. They are false prophets. Do you hear? I don't think people understand that although a prophet spoke to you about something that had come to pass, but tell you that you no longer need to follow the commandments, the Torah, the Bible calls that person a false prophet. No, we can't stone them like the Bible says for you to do because there are laws against that of this land. These people will be judged in their own time. But we can stop listening because there's no truth. No matter who the false teacher, the false prophet, the dreamer is, or whether this person is a family member, we do not follow lies. The Bible includes family members as those who can and will lead you to stray if you let them. Yehovah just gave you a way to test people, a way to test the prophet, the way to test the dreamer by chapter 13 and its instructions. Now, I have a 4-part series called Who Are the False Prophets and False Teachers. I will leave that in the description box in case you're interested in that. Chapter 14. Don't engage in cutting or shaving your head bald. This was some of the practices that, and tattooing your body and those type of things were some of the practices that the Canaanites would do to the dead. Because they were serving the dead. He reminds the children of Israel not to eat unclean animals because this is detestable. He provided a list of animals he considers food. There's a list of land animals, air animals, which is the ones that fly in air, and the creepy crawly animals and the animals that live in the water. So he took care of every area of what you can and cannot eat. He discusses tithes for yourself, tithes for the Levites, for the teachers, and the 30-year tithe that he teaches the people to do. Again, I have a video that addresses the clean and unclean animals and eating, so I will also leave that in the description box. Chapter 15. Now, chapter 15 is the year of Shemitah, a year of release, and this happens every 7 years according to the biblical calendar. You are to release all debts, release all slaves. We are warned to not to be mean-spirited, like if this is year 6.5 and one of your brethren, which is the believer, asks for a loan and you turned it down because the year of Shemitah is coming and you don't want to loan the money because you're going to have to forgive that loan. That is mean-spirited. That is wrong. So you cannot do that. Then the chapter ends with a discussion of the firstborn animal. Remember, the people of Israel was released out of Egypt and escaped the plague of the firstborn. That was the last plague, the plague of the firstborn. Now, the firstborn belongs to Yehovah. The firstborn male must be redeemed. Today's focus. Now, I've thought a lot about this. There's a lot to speak on every week. There's a lot to speak on when it comes to the word of Yehovah. I already had a video that addressed clean and unclean animals, videos about false prophets and false teachers. But I think the focus should be on the economics of the kingdom. In the wilderness, the children was introduced to the kingdom Yehovah, which address all aspects of life, loving him, obeying him, and how the economy works. So the offerings that you were given was providing economics. It was providing to the Levites, and your tithes for yourself was providing economics and taking care of the poor. The whole system, that it was set up for the people not to be in debt. If they go in debt, they will be given a chance to start over. You may have sold yourself as a slave to get out of debt, but there will be a day of release. Not only you as a slave, but also your debt will be forgiven. Even the tithe system, like I spoke about, is set up to not only to take care of the Levites, but the fatherless, the widows, the poor, the strangers that are with you. The system is set up to love Yehovah, yourself, and your neighbor, and the stranger that joins in. The kingdom is set up, the kingdom is built for success in all areas of your life. If we follow the economics that's in the Torah, you will find less and less poor people. Join me on Saturday at 10 o'clock a.m. as we continue following the footsteps of our Messiah, recognize what he has taught, and then join me on Tuesday at 7 o'clock p.m. as we continue through the Torah Chat Points through the book of Deuteronomy, chapters 16 through 18. As always, man does not live by bread alone, but every word that proceeds out of the mouth of Yehovah. Have a blessed rest of the week, and thank you for watching.